Like I did my master's right after college, because that was another thing that I wanted to. I was like, I got to figure out, what I want to do. There still wasn't really a passion. I wasn't passionate about the whole law enforcement experience, but I also wanted to add more to what I could do. So I decided to jump into my master's program. It's a 2 year program, but it took me 8 years to actually graduate, 7 to 8 years. And I think I started in 2012. I didn't get my master's until, so actually 2018, so 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really because I was taking a lot of time off, or drop, whatever, dropping classes, whatever I was doing,
Right.
switching it up. I was just like, I'll come, like leave for a couple semesters, come back, whatever. And I was like, all right, you know what? I've been dragging this thing out for way too long. If I come back and really finish this up, what can I do with this degree that I'm not really doing now with the master's degree? Because at the time I already was working in the banking field and all that. I was doing all right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, but what can I do? And I was like, all right, well, I could teach. I could teach at the college, because I know with the master's degree you could teach undergrad. So that gave me my motivation. So when I went back to school, I went back there with a purpose. Like, I was literally not only going in to pass my classes, but I was asking the professors, like, yo, how'd you get into what you were doing? I was being very intentional.
Mm-hmm.
I was having coffee with different educators. I remember this one dude, Michael Partis. He's a teacher down at BMCC, brilliant dude. He's in the politics from the Bronx and all that. I grabbed coffee with him one day, and he told me, he was like, I was picking his brain. I was like, yo, how'd you get into this? And he was like, yo, I know why you want to do this. I know why you want to do the teaching thing. And he said because as he said, I think he said there's three types of capital. There's social capital and there's capital. I forgot the third one, but he's like, the teaching gives you social capital, and as a black man, you need as much social capital as you.
What is social capital?
Social capital is it's almost like it's credibility. It's So, for example, if I'm saying I'm, at the time I think I was like in my late 20s. If I say I'm a college professor, people just look at you different.
Mm-hmm.
They hold you in a different
Like status.
It's a status symbol thing,
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's status symbol without saying status symbol. It's a way to gain, like, anybody that goes to because you can go to Harvard and study sociology. Like, Columbia has a great social worker program,
Mm-hmm.
but doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be making a ton of money because of what you could, but you still can go. You can still walk around with that Columbia or Harvard sweatshirt or hat, and that gives you that social capital.
Mm-hmm.
There might be somebody that went to Baruch that's making way more money than you, but if they walk around with that Baruch shirt in certain rooms, it's definitely not going to hit the same as that wearing that Columbia shirt. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that has
The school and the
right.
and
So the Baruch dude may be having like capital. He could be making $400,000 a year easily, because he's working in, for the big four accounting firm. But then there's somebody that went to, Columbia and got their MSW there, and they're making $70,000 a year. But that person from Columbia may be able to walk into different rooms than that Baruch person.
And that's the capital
Right.
advantage.
Right, exactly.
Mm.
So, and you still want both. You definitely don't want to be.
You still want.
Yeah. You still
want. One enables you to increase in not just status, but increase in network and increase in capital.
Absolutely.
Where one is just capital based.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. So once, and then he broke it down, and I was like, yeah, you're right. So long story short, I took that and ran with it. Once I got my master's degree, I was able to get a job teaching at BMCC, actually teaching constitutional law. So, and once I did that, I got the taste of learning. Because first off, with teaching, I hope I'm not speaking out of school, but a lot of these schools, from what I see, they just throw you out there. Like, they just like, hey, here's the topics that you have to cover, figure it out. And you have to design your whole curriculum. So I've never taught an official class before. I had to figure it out. And, so I had to literally design the curriculum in a very short amount of time. I didn't say it was easy, but I was able to figure it out. And then once I did that, I was like, oh, okay, that wasn't that bad.